Hello, I'm Alistair Stevenson, reporting for v3.co.uk, and today I'm interviewing Microsoft's Adrienne Hall. Adrienne, could you discuss your current role in Microsoft and your career before then, and how you got into technology?
Sure. Well, I'm the general manager of Microsoft's Trustworthy computing group, and I'm responsible for all the security, privacy, and reliability communications to customers all over the world. I started at Microsoft in 1990 and got into technology in a rather circuitous way. I was educated in Canada as a school teacher after getting a history and English degree. Taught school for a couple of years and then moved to the United States to play tennis, actually. Thought I'd take a bit of a departure in my career and focus on tennis. And then my doubles partner was in high tech and said, you ought to come and work with us. So I started in the late 80s in voicemail and voice response, which was early client-server mainframe in many regards, and then was laid off through an acquisition, applied to Microsoft, and got a job working on LAN Manager, which was a precursor to Windows Server. So really had an interesting interview experience because I hadn't thought of applying. I thought, it's a very techie engineering company. I don't really have that background, but I did have high-tech experience. I had been in sales, and I convinced Microsoft that I could learn anything, and loved communicating, loved working with customers, and got hired.
Oh, brilliant. And did you actually find any challenges getting into what at the time was a very male-dominated industry?
I really didn't. I was part of a large hiring wave of people. Many people had computer science and engineering degrees, but there were also a lot of people like me that had what you'd call sort of broader industry experiences and customer experience. And so at the time, the company was very focused on making sure they had a mix of diverse candidates and diverse talent coming into the company. And I've seen this ring true really over the years, is that there's a commitment to looking for people that are committed to learning and growing and developing on the job, and that remains true today.
Would you say that this is something that's maybe inherent in the technology industry above others due to the startup nature and the very dynamic elements of it?
I think in tech, you have to hire a workforce that is prepared to change and grow and has somewhat fungible skills, so that if the business shifts quickly, people that have been successful in the business can go ahead and adapt quickly and try something new. You do have to have people, though, that love technology, that want to build on what they've previously learned and really grow in a new area, because in high tech people will shift strategies and change things around quite dynamically.
And do you think that the example of many powerful women now in technology, like say Meg Whitman, is a positive that's drawing more women to actually apply and be interested in joining the technology industry?
Yeah, I think so. I think that role models are big. I think that when folks can look at somebody and say, well, look at what they've achieved and look at the path that they took to the role that they have, it opens people's eyes and sort of the doors of thinking, I could possibly do that someday. I see this true with people that are starting in one particular field and then go into another. They might have a high-tech core, and then they go into healthcare because there's some new solutions that are being developed there. So yeah, I do think role models and looking at people doing these interesting new jobs is fun to see.
Brilliant. And do you have any advice to young women graduating university looking to get into the technology industry?
Yeah, I'd say three things. First is be persistent. Definitely ask for the opportunities. I think sometimes women wait to be called on and feel that their credibility and the things that they've worked on should stand on their own. And so you've just got to raise your hand and be sure that you're really advocating for what you want. I do interview people and find that at the end of the interview, they don't always ask for the job. Men make this mistake too, so it's something that everybody needs to be mindful of. But I think be persistent, go after the opportunities you want. The next is don't be afraid to get in the game and compete for things. And sometimes it's as simple as where you're going to network yourself. So I remember years ago having an opportunity to play golf with some male colleagues. I wasn't a good golfer, but I said, I'll golf. I'll go golfing. And so get in the game with people and work on things. The third is to rehearse for big moments. So when something important is coming up, take the time to practice, because you are on stage to some regard. You've got to bring your best game. You've got to be convicted about what you're doing, and really rehearse so that you perform at your very best when you can. Knowing that you're going to make mistakes and not be perfect, it's really about that continuous learning, not being too self-critical, being more self-aware, and managing yourself so that that best person comes to the table every time.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for your time. I'm Alistair Stevenson, reporting for v3.co.uk. Check back later for a full written transcript of our interview. Thanks for watching.